What if your romantic Valentine's Day turned into a nightmare? What if love itself became a deadly game? Imagine a masked maniac striking every year, targeting couples on the most romantic day of the year. Heart Eyes, 2025, is a horror flick that blends romance with slasher elements. It promises to be a thrilling mix of comedy and carnage, but does it actually deliver? Or is it just another horror gimmick? Stay with me as we break down the plot, explore the film's strengths and weaknesses, and discuss that shocking twist ending. Today, we're diving into Heart Eyes, a horror flick that blends romance with slasher elements. The story revolves around a masked maniac with glowing red eyes who resurfaces every Valentine's Day to terrorize unsuspecting couples. While horror and romance have been mixed before, this movie attempts to combine the charm of a romantic comedy with the thrills of a slasher. The big question is, does it work? Heart Eyes borrows heavily from traditional rom-com tropes, but struggles to break free from clichés. The film tries to balance horror and romance, but the softer, sentimental moments often slow down the story rather than complement the tension. That being said, the lead couple has decent chemistry, and there are a few gruesome kills that stand out. Unfortunately, the masked killer is quite forgettable, lacking depth or any truly chilling presence. The director cited Friday the 13th Jason Lives as an influence, but it's hard to see the connection. The villain is simply another masked slasher wielding a crossbow, nothing groundbreaking. A stronger balance between horror and romance could have elevated the film, but instead, it lands in the realm of mediocrity. Now let's break down the story, uncover the killer's identity and motives, and dive into that ending. The film opens in a scenic vineyard where a couple is celebrating their engagement. However, their romantic moment turns dark when a photographer asks them to reenact the proposal for a better shot. Before they can even pose, an arrow from a crossbow pierces the photographer's eye, followed by another taking out the groom-to-be. The masked killer, known as the Heart Eyes Killer, is revealed. A figure with a leather mask stitched into the shape of large, heart-shaped eyes, fitting the twisted Valentine's Day theme. The bride-to-be tries to escape, but meets a gruesome fate inside a wine-making facility, where she is crushed in an industrial grape press. The news reports confirm that this isn't an isolated incident. The Heart Eyes Killer has been active for years, leaving a trail of Valentine's Day massacres in different cities. Fear spreads, and couples become wary of celebrating the holiday. Enter two detectives, Hobbs and Shaw. Yes, a clear nod to Fast and Furious, played by Devon Sawa and Jordana Brewster. They investigate the latest murder scene but hesitate to conclude that the infamous killer is back, despite an obvious heart-shaped display featuring the victim's actual heart in the center. Meanwhile, we meet Allie, a woman dealing with heartbreak while working in the advertising department of a jewelry company. Her latest campaign, which ironically features doomed couples like Romeo and Juliet and Bonnie and Clyde, suddenly becomes problematic in light of the recent murders. Her job is now on the line, and the company scrambles to rework the campaign before Valentine's Day. Just when things seem to be falling apart, Allie has a meet-cute moment straight out of a rom-com. She bumps into a charming stranger, Jay, at a coffee shop. They awkwardly fumble through introductions and even manage to accidentally headbutt each other, twice. Despite Allie's reluctance to embrace romance, Jay is persistent and invites her to dinner under the pretense of discussing her advertising project. Their night together is filled with rom-com clichés, ordering champagne, bonding over childhood stories, and an eventual fake kiss designed to make Allie's ex jealous. But just as a genuine connection begins to form, things take a terrifying turn. That night, Allie returns home only to find the Heart Eyes Killer waiting for her in her closet. She manages to escape and finds herself in a bizarre carnival where a chase scene unfolds on a carousel. Just as the killer closes in, the police arrive, forcing him to flee. In a shocking twist, Jay is arrested as the prime suspect. Evidence found at the crime scene points to him, and despite Allie's protests, the police refuse to listen. As she struggles with guilt, the killer launches another attack, this time inside the police station. Detective Hobbs is killed, and Brewster mysteriously disappears. Allie manages to free Jay, and the two escape, leading to a final confrontation at a drive-in theater. As the chaos unfolds, they manage to overpower the killer and unmask him, only to realize they have no idea who he is. The real twist comes later when the mastermind behind the killings is revealed. It turns out that Detective Brewster is the true Hard Eyes killer, working alongside her lover, Dan, and a third accomplice who was nothing more than a devoted fan of their twisted work. The couple had been orchestrating Valentine's Day killings for years, moving from city to city and even infiltrating the police force to stay undetected. The final showdown takes place in an abandoned church, where Allie and Jay fight for their survival. Brewster meets her end when Allie uses a metal straw to stab her in the neck, while Jay takes down Dan using the killer's own crossbow. With the killers finally defeated, Allie and Jay emerge as heroes. Hard Eyes had an interesting concept, but ultimately fell into predictable territory. The horror and romance never quite meshed, and the killer's reveal felt rushed and unearned. The logistics of the villain's plan were also far-fetched. How did Brewster manage to be involved in previous killings and still get a job as a detective in a new city without raising any red flags? The execution of the twist felt sloppy, making it more frustrating than satisfying. While Hard Eyes does have some memorable moments, it fails to deliver a truly engaging horror-romance blend. If you're a fan of holiday slashers, it might be worth a watch, but don't expect it to redefine the genre. That's it for this review. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what movie you'd like me to review next. Thanks for watching ReelRipple Reviews. See you next time.